All right, I'm back. It's not much better, but it looks like it's a little bit better. Sprint, you gotta love it. Must take it a 3 day weekend. They seem to do that a lot. But wanted to, oh yeah. So Sunday we're going out to Mickey Rats, and then after Mickey Rats we're gonna go over to Sunset Bay, Cabana Sam's. I've been out there all year, so it'll be nice to get out there and enjoy the sunshine, enjoy Joe, and we're gonna have a little bit of dinner, go to Mickey Rats and hang out and have a couple of drinks. So good morning, Courtney. How you doing, hon? So it'll be good. I'm gonna try to get a lot of work done on the house. I've been trying some different things myself. As many things as that I'm always trying to tell everybody else to do. The different experiences that I've learned and the knowledge that I've accrued and acquired that has helped me and helped others that I've worked with, through Nurture and with life coaching in general. And career coaching, I do career coaching and counseling as well. So if you ever know anybody that needs any help with that stuff, anything at all, or if you need help with that stuff, let me know, and I be happy to sit down and talk with them or help. Usually it's just a little bit of encouragement. It's a little bit of guidance. So it's a little bit of just pushing and saying, hey, maybe look at it this way or maybe look at it that way. And so many times we're so close to where it is that we need to be. We just get caught up in those negative thoughts and those negatives which transfer over into negative feelings or negative emotions. And then we get caught up in that, and we're really spinning our wheels at that point. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to make sure I get up at 4 a.m., which is even earlier than what I normally get up at. But it's been working out pretty well. I get out of bed a lot of times. Sometimes I just stay in bed and I'll lay there for a little bit. I'll get some of the social media stuff done on Facebook, or put some thoughts down. I'll write some thoughts down, and then I'll get up and I'll start my day. But it's worked out great. The other thing that has worked out really, really well, and I've gotten this piece of advice from several people, but myself most recently, and then Joe Palladino reinforcing it to me with scheduling. And I put together my list of what I'm trying to accomplish, and I think the biggest things that I needed to accomplish in my life professionally, what I'm going to do, because I held myself back for so long with not doing what it was that I should have been doing and what I needed to be doing. And, the worth that I have to myself, my world, the people around me, it can be, pretty special. And, I wasn't paying attention to that or holding it in high enough regard. So the scheduling and getting up earlier has helped me out tremendously, because rather than getting up at 6 and then, I need to start work by 8 or 8:30 on the job site, it just goes so fast. So getting up at 4 and putting a schedule together with what I want to do throughout the course of that early part of the morning is really advantageous, and it's been very beneficial to me. Why am I talking about this? It's just that everything in our lives, guys, everything that's going on, we can tweak it. We can reevaluate it. We can modify it. We can adjust it however we need to. It's really at our disposal. It's just our decision to get out of routine and habits so that we can create new routine and habits that are more beneficial and advantageous to us. And, it can be just simple little changes like, oh, hey, the house isn't very clean. Well, take 15 minutes extra a day, apply that towards it. I don't have a TV, so it's pretty easy for me to do. And now that I've gotten away from engaging negatively on social media, it's really opened up my world and allowed me to be so much more productive and so much more effective. And and then getting through my day, the impact that I can make on what it is that I need to accomplish is so much greater. I feel more energized. I feel more invigorated. I think a big part of this lockdown has been, how are people reacting to it? And when I meet people out that I've never met, or people that are friends that we're finally starting to come back together, people ask, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, honestly, it's really been going awesome. I mean, I met this whole group of people that exposed me to this reinforcement that people have my back no matter what. With all the groups that I've met, all the people that are now on our page here, and I'm always I'm always kind of conscious about maybe not expanding it too much because I don't want to dilute it, and I don't want Facebook to kind of how they will limit which people can see it. And the people that see my posts on our page and that see this video right now are great because I love the interaction. I love the engagement. I love the comments. I always say that you guys are so smart and so intelligent. The research that you guys do is just amazing and wonderful. And it's just very spot on. It's, factual. It's, it's rooted. It's in data and research. And it's just great. So, as far as getting it any bigger and inviting anybody else to it, I don't know, I kind of have to, feel that out. But this whole process throughout the lockdown has been amazing for me because I did get to meet all you guys. I did get to network with all you guys. I did get to figure out that, hey, there's a world. So my Facebook world, my Facebook family, not everybody agreed with me. And those who did agree with me, which were typically whatever percentage, but it was hundreds and hundreds of people on my page that agreed with me. They couldn't ever come out and say that they agreed with me because they didn't want anybody on their page to see it for fear of what would happen with family or friends or a relationship or business contacts. And that's still the way it is for so many of us, that we won't like a post or we won't comment on a post because we're afraid of what somebody else is going to think about it. And that's a shame. And that's what was happening on, what is now our page. It was my page then, is that I would post everything that I was passionate about. And there were hundreds of people that, Pete, they would, message me in private. I love what you're saying. Keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing. Keep talking about what you're doing, keep exposing it. But I can't say anything. And then there were those handful of people that would always negatively comment. And I would engage with them in a negative way. And then I made a conscious decision to say, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore because my time is too valuable to continuously do that with people and engage in that way. So throughout the lockdown here, my point on all of this is that you can approach anything in any number of ways. And it's all about your mindset. And, when things come up that are challenging, how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to manage it? And you can either shut down and, close up, or you could take a look at what is happening and figure out how to become something more, how to adapt, how to be better. And this has been a blessing through all of this because I've been able to do that in so many ways, physically, with maintaining, my workouts, which are very important to me, meeting people and connecting with people and being active politically and with the activism and all of the people that I've been involved with that way. Business-wise, just trying to make sure that I stay focused in on that stuff. And then, with my homes, I have a couple of homes. I have one in Orchard Park and I have one here in Cheektowaga, but they both need to be finished. And putting myself on the schedule and having a deadline of when I want to finish those it's going to make that real. It's going to make me realize those things and it's going to make me accomplish that. Now, I've been talking about this for years and trying to make this happen, but each day gets away from us. Every day we get caught up in our routine. Something's happening. Good morning, Joe. Something's happening and we get distracted. And then we forget about what it is that we're trying to accomplish and what we want to do. And then that day slips away. And then another day slips away. And then there's a week that slips away. Well, when you take a look at your day and you say, hey, every minute matters, every moment throughout the day matters. And I don't want to be so consumed in what it is that's on my schedule that I'm missing out on my friends, my family, my business associates, whatever it is, any of the clients that I have that I work with. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're compartmentalizing your time, that you're utilizing your time in the most efficient manner possible, so that whatever it is that you're supposed to be focused in on, you're doing it. And you don't go on your phone. You don't start folding laundry. You don't do your dishes. You go to the bathroom if you want. You can get a drink of water and do that stuff, but you just stay focused. And then when you're done, you move on. The exceptions are family, loved ones, whoever you're in a relationship with, family members, friends. You try not to answer the phone while you're doing what you're doing, because you want to be able to stay focused in on what you got to do, and you leave it go until after you're done. But sometimes it's just not possible. And the only thing that's important in life, it's not all that other nonsense. It's not all about, what I'm going to do with the house, and it's people. So it's all about taking that time to be with people. So no matter what your schedule is, if you got to break away from it, that is the exception. To be there, pay attention, be mindful, be aware. Be conscious of what somebody else is going through. Listen to what they're going through. If they're reaching out to you through a text or through, the phone, just see how pressing it is. And then if you need to respond, and then adjust your schedule accordingly. But, if it's your kids, or if it's, your wife or somebody you're in a relationship with, your husband, always take the time to be there for them. Don't dismiss them. Don't disregard them. Don't take them for granted, because it's the only one that matters. They're the only ones that really matter, and your family and your friends. So, pay attention to them. And, again, why I'm talking about all of this is that when we all start doing a little bit more, when each one of us individually starts doing a little bit more, and being a little bit more, and accomplishing a little bit more, and doing what we can do, and that's when this consciousness, this collective consciousness is going to expand and grow and burst. It not burst, I shouldn't say it, burgeon. It's just going to be really good. And the reason why is this, because now instead of you going into your world, not being focused, not being centered, not being at peace, not being content, not being happy, you're going out into the world, right now, if you're distracted, maybe you're a little bit agitated or edgy, maybe even angry, you're frustrated. That all comes off in the world around us, the people that we are. It's not like this mystical cosmic thing. It's not what it is. It's just us. So if we're going out in the world and we're feeling all those negative ways, or those ways that aren't necessarily positive, our day continuously is not going to be good. We're going to be distracted. We're not going to be focused in on our friends that we're with, or our business associates that we're working with. When you could go out and you could take that deep breath, I'm telling you guys, those deep breaths, they are amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it just clears you. And it brings your mind back into focus. And what it does is it allows you to go out into your world now and be at peace, and be happy, and be joyous, and be thankful, and be grateful, and be mindful, and be aware, and be attentive and cognizant of what others are going through. So now you go, let's say you're driving in your car, and you've got that guy that cut you off. And if you start off when you're angry and edgy and agitated because you're worried about everything you got to do, you know what your reaction is going to be. If you go out and you're calm and you're able to center yourself, your reaction to that situation is going to be completely different. I needed to modify my behavior. I needed to change my behavior. I needed to change and adapt the way I was approaching life. And I thought that it was okay that I approached life in the different levels that I did. And in a way, it's okay that you're always gonna good morning guys, good morning Nate, good morning Peggy. We You're always going to have, you can't be on all the time. I don't, yin and yang is a real thing for sure. But in my opinion, you don't have to crash. You don't have to be a high and then come down. You can be high and just stay there, because that, if your moderate level is here, and that moderate level is just content, or not even content, but just not even placid, but just existing. If this is just existing and that's your baseline, that doesn't have to be your baseline. Your baseline can be up here where you're happy and joyous. And when that level then is there, that becomes your new baseline. And existing is here. And then being angry is even lower. And when your baseline is being happy and just, appreciate, good morning, Nikki, just appreciating life and all the gifts that you have in it, it's a beautiful place to be, because you go out into the world and now you pay attention to things. You pay attention to things such as, when you go to the supermarket, maybe you smile at somebody, maybe you say hi. You don't have to do it to everybody, but maybe you see somebody like Maggie Cunningham. A handful of times that she recognized, good morning, Roger. A handful of times that she goes out into the supermarkets and people just see that she's a good person and they approach her. And I told that story about Darwin. Just imagine if we all, or not even if all of us, but more of us were like that. If we went out, thanks Nate, if more of us went out into the world, not being so self-absorbed, not being so self-consumed, not having that self-loathing, not to be worrying about everything else that's going on, but that we can actually center ourselves and go out in the world and pay attention to that clerk that maybe needs a smile, or hey, how you doing? Or when you're cashing out, thank you. You see somebody walking in and you say, hey, how you doing? Nothing crazy, or like, hey, this is that gets to be a little bit much, and people are overcompensating, and I've seen those people approach life, and it's great having those type of people in the world. It really is, but it can be a little off-putting. We all know it can be. But if we all were able to be a little bit happier each day in our lives, then that means that those people directly around us, our family, our friends, our loved ones, our business associates, the people that we run into wherever we go, our acquaintances, they're going to see a different us. They're going to see a happier us. A person that seems to be a little bit more put together, and somebody who's a little bit more confident. And that's just radiating out and into that sphere of influence that you have. And you don't have to be like, hey, engage them. It's just your mannerisms. It's just your behavior. It's just how you're reacting, or you're acting and behaving. And if each one of us do that a little bit more, then that increases. And the world that we all touch, maybe somebody else, maybe it inspires and influences them to be a little bit better, to be a little bit more that way. What is it? Pay it forward. I guess that's kind of this thought process, but not really, because you don't even have to be. You can do that. You can do something for somebody, but at least getting to this point allows your mind and your heart and your soul and the way you carry yourself, your body, people are just going to pay attention to that. And then you're going to be more mindful and aware of your surroundings. and how you may be able to impact somebody's life. So, we all take a look at poverty, and we see, all of the people that are out there who are suffering. We see all the people now that are, the children that are suffering, people that are being victimized, business owners, mothers, fathers not being able to figure out what to do with their kids. Well, there are resources out there to help. But just imagine if we were that resource to help. If you were able to just touch one person in a positive way, that it was encouraging to them, that rather than being so overwhelmed and consumed with doubt and depression and uncertainty, that you had somebody in your life that said, it's going to be okay. I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you through this. And we don't have to be social workers to do that, guys. I'm not a social worker, and I created a network of people that I know, Maggie being one of them. Sherry Polvino being another. There are these women and these men that are out there that if you just realize what the opportunity is around you to help other people, create just a small little list. So that if you have a family member or a friend that says, hey, I need this or I need this, and it can extend into like construction, home repair, psychology, or, a social worker, if somebody needs services like government services, if somebody in tax or attorney, in your group, that you have, that you see those people that you trust that do those things, put that down on paper. And then just doing that, you will be able to say, when somebody comes to you and asks you, hey, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? Or I need this. You know what? I got the perfect person. And then we can all really start to be that village, that phrase that everybody uses, that community. We could be that family that really cares about one another. So through this lockdown, you guys have seen me in a lot of different emotional states. And, that's always going to be the case. I'm blessed to be able to compartmentalize the things that I need to. I'm blessed to be able to identify when it is that I need to turn it on here and when I need to turn it off and turn this on. And I think a lot of us also have those gifts. And being able to do that allows me to tackle a whole bunch of different things in life. In getting through our days with the lockdown, for anybody that is just feeling, so alone, unsure, not knowing what to do, the best thing that you can do for yourself is just create a schedule, create a plan. Any of these ideas that I'm doing for myself, please take them. Any of these things, these concepts that I share with other people, they utilize. And I got to tell you what, the transformation that takes place, with their approach towards life it's astounding and it's beautiful. And when you can open somebody's minds and open up their mind and their eye to see what their potential is, rather than sitting at home in a bed or in front of the television or, playing games on the phone or on social media, whatever the distraction is, they then look at life in an invigorated way, in an enthusiastic way, in a way that they're like, I want to get up in the morning. I want to do something. Here's my schedule. I'm going to apply myself today. I'm going to look for new things to apply myself today. And once you start that, again, here's your base. And now you've created a whole new base, which is here. And now everything moves up the ladder. So your old base was here, your new base is here. And when you were here, you looked up and you're like, man, there's no effing way I can get there. There's no way. And then you do one little thing at a time, one little thing at a time, one little extra thing at a time. And all of a sudden, you're closer and closer and closer, and then you're here. And now you've conditioned yourself. You've programmed yourself to be here. And now you look down there where was your base. Now that's not even your base. That's your lower level. And then the same thing happens. You move up and you're ready with all of that knowledge and wisdom and experience that you've accrued. And you look up here and now, this is your new baseline. You take a look up and you go, well, that doesn't seem so tough to get up there. What would be holding me back to get up there? Is it myself? And the answer every single time is yes. It's ourselves that keep us from going up higher. And because you've had that experience from going from your original baseline to your new baseline, now this next level doesn't seem that insurmountable. It doesn't seem that tough to tackle. And you get to that point. But it takes us making decisions every day, in the morning when you wake up, and every moment throughout the day to say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do for myself? What am I going to do for my family? What am I going to do for my loved ones? How am I going to pay attention to them? How am I going to give? And for me, this transformation has been just incredible. And I have so far to go. I really do. Like I have only, I'm just beginning my ascent. Just beginning. But all the things that I have learned, thanks, it's a great team, Joe. I know, the best. And like with Joe, that group of people, the hugs, and just the how happy we are when we see one another, when we're able to get together. And it's not nearly enough, but when we do, it's just amazing. And what we've been able to accomplish and do, there wasn't even a thought. It wasn't anything that would register. And then there we are. We've got that book of experience that we've acquired because we went out and did it. But, my path, my journey at this point was one where I was very, people would say, hey, Pete, you're very content. When I'm out and you seem put together. But then what would happen is I would, engage negatively in different capacities. Whether it was the sports that I was playing, whether it was my life specifically, and not working or being focused, or not, doing the tasks around my house, or not being as good to customers or businesses or my businesses that I should have been, not being responsible to myself or those businesses or my customers or my home, and being lazy, to be honest with you. And because what laziness is laziness is not paying attention to what you need to do. And, maybe you're overwhelmed because there's so many different things going on. That laziness comes in from not actually identifying what it is that you can do better, to be more scheduled, to be more routine, to be more effective, to be more productive with the time that you have. That's where my laziness came in. And, again, I'm just beginning this journey at this point, and I'm loving it. I really am, because I don't know where everything goes, but I know that I am extremely excited about what it is that I can accomplish with you guys, because of you guys. I mean, it just so special to be able to have every one of you guys in my life, and to see your faces and to see the comments, to see you there, to see you guys protecting me, when it is, and defending me and standing up for me when I need it. This wasn't really what I wanted to talk about today. There were some other topics, but I got into it and it felt important. I was able to get together yesterday with my old volleyball team. Thursdays, it's an old volleyball team. It was 6 months ago. It does seem like forever ago. And they're a great group of people. It was just all the women that are on the team, but what we do is we played at Nichols on Thursdays, and we would go to oh God, I can't remember the name of the place. Oh God, they're gonna hate my guts, but it's on Delaware, I think. Man, I'm horrible. So we, the Jake, is it the Jake? I think it's called the Jake. So we would go there afterwards, but it was a great team, and we weren't good. We were not good. We played well enough. We were maybe like a little less than 50% win, 500, but we had a great time, and everybody great personality. And we were doing Zooms, which were great, but last night was just awesome to be able to get together. It was really, really awesome to get to see them. And we went over to the Angry Buffalo. The Angry Buffalo is, if you get French or Quebecois. So it was, it just sounds more fancy when you say Buffalo, right? Or it just sounds dumb, I don't know. But we had a great time. And I couldn't stay long, which sucked, because I really wanted to be there the entire night, but I had another meeting, which I'm going to talk about just real briefly here, and then I got to go. But it was just awesome to be able to see everybody, and I loved it. So we're going to try to get together next week, Wednesday, again, because we did have so much fun. But it's nice to see them where they were all very, very concerned about what was happening with the lockdown and making sure to prevent the spread of the virus. So they were very resolute on that. They were very convicted that it was a danger and it was a hazard, and they're still there. They think that it is a little bit, but now they're like, look, I got to live my life, which is the way this whole thing should have been handled from the very beginning. We all should have just been living our lives and allowed to live our lives and not have our businesses shut down. I'm not even going to get into all that, but it's nice to see the transformation in them, that they're finally starting to realize that maybe this isn't the deal that they told us it was. So great times. Last thing is, we had our meeting last night, and a lot of movement. The whole group, the whole crew was out in Hamburg, and we were able to move forward with a bunch of different concepts and ideas that we put together preliminarily, and then everybody had about a week to work on them. So very encouraging stuff. I think our biggest hurdle and challenge is going to be staying focused. So in order for anybody to be effective, we need to stay focused and scheduled, which is how I started this whole thing. But all too often, you get off on tangents. And when you're getting off on tangents, you're not accomplishing anything. So we address that at the end of it, and it's just going to be great. And I'm not going to mention the names of the people that were there, but just guys, you got to know that just like Joe and our group, and Bill and Gina and Taylor and all the people that Aya that come out, and Gay, and everybody that comes out every single time that to these protests, they're fighting for us too. But this group of people is so dedicated and committed. All the protesters are so dedicated and committed. All the individuals that have started the groups. Everybody, Jill and Stephanie, everybody that is running a group and doing everything that they can at this point, they're a gift to you guys, because maybe you didn't know what to do, and then you found them and you're like, oh my God, this person's amazing. This group of people that we met out in Hamburg, there's an action plan, and we are going to work on this and implement it. And the knowledge that this group of people have, and the network of people that they know. And I'm not just talking about we're talking about experts that these people know in various fields. And what we're going to do is they've started the website freenys.com. And on freenys.com, what's going to happen is it's going to be a portal for information for everybody to visit to see what has been happening. And we're going to compile this information. So we're going to be approaching people like Peggy Hall, Pamela Popper, some of the other names I can't think of, but people who are very, very influential and intelligent about these things, the very specific topics that we're trying to address. It's a different group, Joe. I'm going to make you aware of it when next time we see each other, when we get together. This wasn't like our Buffalo events group, which we need to get together with that marching group. We got to make that happen. But what we're going to do is we're getting everything established, and then we're going to start to branch out to our group and the leaders of our group But it's just going to be good stuff. And these people are patriots. They're volunteering all their time to try to make sure we can get back what we had and take back even more. You know, we've got a meeting. Joe, you should be there on August 31st, 5:30 a.m. at Raphael's in Hamburg. And we're going to have business owners that are going to be there. We're going to have Dave DiPietro, possibly some other politicians, some influential people that are going to be there so that I can communicate to them what it is. Okay, thanks, Joe. I might be able to go there. Okay, Save-A-Lot. Great. Thank you very much. So Lancaster March tonight at 6:45, the Save-A-Lot over there. If you guys know where that is or don't know, Google it. But I need to wrap this up. And the last thing I want to say is August 22nd, guys, I believe, I'm going to get the time wrong here, 11 a.m., and it's a Saturday. They have the Save Our Children protest. Make sure you're showing up to that. That's at the Spot Coffee down in the city on Elmwood Ave. I will absolutely be there. I hope you guys are going to be there too. Thank you for listening, guys. Love you guys, and enjoy your day as always. If anything happens or comes up, I'll get back on, but if not, I'll see you guys in the morning. Take care. Ooh.